Let's look at the triangle that we have here, and this triangle actually is made up of two smaller triangles. One of them is above the x-axis, one of them is below, and the 30 degrees here is going to correspond on the unit circle with the 30 degrees here. So actually this coordinate is going to match. Well, it's going to go right there. Just throwing that at you, and then we'll go from there. So let's figure that one out. Kind of stare at that for a second. If we have 30 degrees here, 90 degrees here, 180 degrees total, you're going to have 60 up here. And we can do the same thing there. You're also going to have 60. And knowing that this is 30 and this is 30, that's also going to make 60. So you really have an equilateral triangle. So this is 1, because we're really going to be talking about the unit circle. And this is 1, because we have a 60, 60, 60. So they're all going to be the same. Well, if this is 1 and this is 1 and this is 1, and this is going to be, well, split in half for obvious reasons. This is going to make a right angle. These are congruent. The 30-degree angles are congruent. This is going to be 1/2 right here. And this is also going to be 1/2, which gives us part of our answer. We don't know this length. We'll call this A. But we do know this is 1/2. So the y-coordinate is 1/2. Okay? Now this distance is 1/2. Technically, if we're going to talk about where we would go to get, like directionally, to get to this, we'd say that's -1/2, like directionally. But in terms of distance, which is what we're measuring in this, that's why it's positive. Just saying. Okay, let's come over here and let's find out what A is, and let's use this right triangle. So A squared plus 1/2 all squared equals 1 squared. A squared plus, let's see, square the 1, square the 2, and that's equal to 1 squared, which is 1. We're going to subtract 1/4 from 1, and we're going to get 3/4. So A squared equals 3/4. Well, best way to solve that is to take the square root. And so A is going to be, again, let's not do the plus or minus thing. We're talking distance here. The square root of 3 and the square root of 4, which is 2. We don't have to rationalize this denominator. It's just square root of 3 over 2. Square root of 3 over 2. Well, that's nice. All right, we have square root of 3 over 2, comma 1/2. Let's put that right here. Square root of 3 over 2, comma 1/2. All right, fantastic. Well, what I have here is mirrored on this side as well. So at 30 degrees and at 150, we really have the same thing with just some variation of signs. So instead of positive, positive, we have negative, positive. So negative square root of 3 over 2, comma 1/2. And again, this gets mirrored down here across the x-axis. So positive, positive becomes positive, negative. Square root of 3 over 2, comma negative 1/2. And this one is going to be negative, negative. Negative square root of 3 over 2, comma, negative 1/2. Okay, so if we're going to have square root of 3 over 2, comma 1/2 to get here, knowing that this one is a 60-degree angle, what we really have is, the same thing, just represented in a different location. Let me clarify that a little bit with a scrap piece of paper. What we just did was 30, 90, 60. But what I really want to do is, let's get that out of the way, is 60, 30. Oh, no, running out of ink. That's what I thought last time, and it kept going, so we're just going to go for it. So we're really going to have the same situation where if this is 1/2, now this is 1/2. And if this is the square root of 3 over 2, then this is the square root of 3 over 2. So it's going to take everything we just did, and ignore that stuff that's sideways, and we're going to just reverse the coordinate. So on the unit circle, square root of 3 over 2, comma 1/2 for the 60 degrees and the other corresponding ones, it's going to be 1/2, comma, square root of 3 over 2. Positive, positive becomes negative, positive on this side. Negative 1/2, square root of 3 over 2. Negative down here, so negative 1/2, negative square root of 3 over 2. And positive 1/2, negative square root of 3 over 2. Okay, we have completed finding the coordinates for the unit circle. There's going to be one more thing we're going to do with this, though, another video.